Welcome Aquarius to your 2020 reading. This is going to be a big reading and we are going to be looking at the flavour of the energy for the year. It's going to be a powerful time for us all. There's so much astrologically happening and it's sort of the incoming energy I think is going to affect us all very differently. Every reading has been very much about transition, moving forwards, but each one very, very different in the way the energy is going to sort of come in and affect us all. Welcome, first of all. Welcome back to anyone who is already a part of this amazing community that we are building. And, namaste. Thank you so, so much for your likes, your shares, and just the way that you are sharing your own experiences as well. I am blown away by the authenticity, the way that you hold hope and light in the face of challenges. You really are absolutely awesome and inspirational. I reply to as many comments as I can. I can't, respond to everybody, but I do try to, and I do read through them. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. For anyone who's new to this incredible community that we are building, welcome. I'm Jenny Florence, and I put a lot of free resources into the world as well as doing these readings, which of course are also free. So if you are interested in, finding out finding out about the resources that I offer to help navigate your life from a position of empowerment, and I have a whole library that's completely free of charge. The information is in the box below, and including how to win a free private reading with me potentially as well. So guys, let's begin. Let's tune into the energy of Aquarius. We'll be drawing 6 runes and a lot of cards. Okay. We have 2 runes to start with. We have the Rune of the Self and we have the Rune of Possessions. This is interesting because the Self asks, it's like a request. It asks us to be willing to change. It asks us to be present and available. It's about our receptivity. That's the word that's really coming through to me right now. It speaks of being the very best version of yourself, of being extraordinary in an ordinary way, doing everything you possibly can in all aspects of your life, whether it's a trivial, tiny little thing or a great big event, doing it to the very best of your ability. This is all about the sort of evolution of our soul in terms of if you think of there being a connection between our soul and our self-esteem. Yeah, if your self-esteem is really good, then it means you are probably living in alignment with the calling of your soul, whether you're aware of that connection or not. There's a sort of a connection there between the two. Now, the Rune of Possessions is interesting because this speaks of nourishment, ambition satisfied, rewards received, and it's quite interesting because it comes with something of the flavour of this being ordinary in an extraordinary way, because it asks you not to kind of like behave recklessly with your success, for example. It's about remaining humble and being mindful with the success that comes to you. So be careful to conserve your rewards. Don't just blow them all overnight. Be mindful to share. But treasure your success. Understand it and appreciate it. Celebrate it. Don't just move on to the next goal. So all of those kinds of principles of living are sitting with these runes. We have 2 more. We have the Rune of Signals and the Rune of Separation. Very interesting flow of energy here. So the Rune of Signals, this is the equivalent of the card of the Magician in the tarot pack. It's like the winged messenger of the gods. It's signs, signals, new connections, but new connections that lead to a new life unfolding. I mean, 2020 is definitely a year of transition, that's for sure. The energy is of transition for us all. The question is, how is it going to affect us? This rune suggests that it's like an invitation. Please be particularly aware that messages, signals, signs come in a variety of different shapes and forms, not always as we expect. So it's kind of like if there is a delay, recognise that it may in fact be providential, even if it feels frustrating. Again, a bit like the Mercury retrograde period. Be particularly aware of synchronicities. If you meet somebody new and they be particularly attentive to what's being said to you, because it could be that in some fleeting passing moment some information is given to you. So it's all about receptivity and attentiveness are coming through here really clearly. Separation. Old skins need to be shed. Something has to be given up. Sometimes this can be actually connected to real property, like real estate or a house. Some people literally do move house when we draw this rune in a kind of a forecast for a personal reading. It suggests that there is a movement. Something has to be let go of, but whatever we let go of, it is because it is making way for something that is better. It sometimes speaks of the word inheritance. The inheritance is not necessarily that we inherit from someone. It is sometimes that it's almost like we step into, I want to say if we think of a human lifespan as the soul's evolution within our human experience, then it's almost as though when we shed a skin, like a snake shedding a skin to move into its newer, bigger, better form, its more mature form, in terms of consciousness as well, of awareness, of growth. When we shed a skin, it's as though our soul moves into a new space of its evolution. So that's the level of inheritance that we're talking about. If we've come through a challenge, for example, and we come out of it bigger, better, stronger, more assertive, more aware of ourselves, more whole, more complete. There's that kind of energy around this particular rune. And that is what I'm hearing, receptivity. You're needing to be particularly, there's an invitation here to be receptive and responsive. A new life is unfolding. It's as if I feel as though a doorway is going to be opened for you, or doorways in some way. But when we step through a doorway, we always, of course, leave the past behind us. That's what this rune is about. Okay, and we have two more. I'll just pop those up there, out of our way. We have the Rune of Protection, and we have the Rune of Fertility. This is magical, this energy. So the Rune of Protection, you're asked not to drown in the emotionality of accelerated change. That's probably how I can say it best, I think. So the Rune of Protection says, it speaks of new opportunities. But sometimes those new opportunities can feel challenging. Sometimes we just flow into them. They happen. It's marvellous. Excuse me. So we celebrate. But sometimes new opportunities come through challenge, a shift from one way of being to another. Even if it's a shift that we really want, we're still sort of slightly stepping into the unknown, because we can never know how something is until we get there. So there's this flavour around this of needing to step into something new. It's not even needing, that's the wrong word. You're being offered new opportunities. You're offered an opportunity to step into a new phase, and it's right for you at a level of soul. That's what I'm really hearing. Control of the emotions, as in, don't ignore your emotions, don't sweep them under the carpet, but listen to them. Interesting enough, listen to them as signals, as signs. Emotions are like a sat-nav system. If we feel really, really bad, it's because we're needing to attend to something. I mean, I've spent a huge amount of my life working with emotions and understanding how to use our emotions so that they serve us, so that they empower us. That's why I wrote a book called Mindfulness Meets Emotional Awareness. I am actually, by the way, as we come into December, every week of December, I'm going to be doing a bit of a Christmas giveaway just because it's a wonderful time of year to give stuff. And I will be giving away some of those books, not Kindle copies, the real books. So guys, kind of watch this space for those announcements, and you know, that's just it's part of being part of this community. It's just a wonderful thing to do. But yeah, in that particular book, I talk about all of our most challenging emotions, and you know, how to use them so that the energy of them works for us rather than against us. But as I said, watch that space. Fertility, this is wonderful. When we think about, you know, the possibility of new opportunities, they could come through challenge, but ultimately we are talking about a period of accelerated growth, accelerated life change. This rune also, by the way, has a reassurance with it. It says you are going to progress. The Rune of Fertility just kind of rubber stamps that. The Rune of Fertility is, again, this connects into the card of the moon in the tarot pack. It's like a rite of passage. It requires you to complete a beginning. It's almost like we need to fertilize the ground. So if you're going to create a garden from scratch, you can't just sow seeds on the ground. You have to actually dig it over and fertilize the ground first. And then once you have nurtured that ground, then you can plant the seeds. So something needs to be completed. That is what this rune speaks of, completion of beginnings. So I'm going to say, as we head into 2020, I feel as though the energy for the year for you guys is all about new beginnings. And you are being asked to almost, I want to say, nurture yourselves through your ability to be both open, receptive, responsive. And I will say, particularly to yourselves, above and beyond anything, listen to the signals and signs around you, but listen to yourselves as well. That's coming through very, very clearly as a message for you. I'm going to put these up here, and then we're going to draw from my oldest pack of tarot cards. Wonderful. Queen of Cups, self-care. She really knows how to look after herself, and interestingly enough, she knows how to listen to her emotions. She understands that emotions are valuable, important, essential. You know, life is not an intellectual process. You know, we feel things, and it's through feeling stuff that we identify what matters to us, what we like, what we don't like, in terms of our process of manifestation, of personal co-creativity with the universe. If we can't listen to our emotions, then we are not going to be able to manifest to our fullest potential. We have to be able to listen to life's experiences and how that makes us feel in order to identify what's going to work for us and what isn't. Oh wow, guys. Stunning energy of new beginnings. Ace of Cups. For some of you, this may well mean a new relationship or a new phase in relationships. So obviously this is a big reading. It's an Aquarius 2020. So, but this is all about new beginnings. And again, this has a real relationship flavour to it, this reading. That includes, I want to say, your relationship with yourself. It's kind of like if you are right with yourself, if you're good with yourself, then the outside world is going to end up mirroring that. It will come into alignment. It's very deep, this reading as well, in terms of connection to your soul. I'm going to say, for those of you that are looking for a soulmate, this looks very promising in terms of the energy that's available, but the starting point is you. The starting point is you looking after you, you being attuned to you. Sometimes this card actually does speak of self-protection. But again, self-protection involves looking after ourselves. It's not just a protection against other people. It's actually about standing strong in ourselves, being actively involved in self-care. Let's see what else comes through here. Card of Justice. It's a very interesting energy. You're going to be weighing things up. You're going to be evaluating. So again, you're going to be given, I think, a lot of signs, a lot of signals, a lot of opportunities. And here we have 7 of Pentacles, a card of opportunity. Now, either someone is going to reach out to you, or you're going to reach out for something. Now, if this was a monthly reading and not a yearly reading, I'd be getting much more specific about this, and I'd be drawing cards around it. Because it's a whole year, a 2020 reading, I want to say, guys, I feel like opportunities are coming your way. We have the equivalent of Mercury, the magician. Signs, signals, new connections. We have fertility. Fertilize the ground, look after yourself, get involved in self-care, and kind of lean into the trust that opportunities, new beginnings are coming your way. I feel as though doorways are going to be opened for you. And the key here is actually allowing yourself to be, again, this receptivity and responsiveness. Allow yourselves to sort of dwell in that space of responsiveness and your ability to listen, not just to yourselves, but also to kind of the life that flows through you, if that makes sense. Evaluate every step of the way. I think a lot of opportunities are coming your way. And again, don't drown in the success. Just pick up my cards because we're going to draw another one. But I think opportunities are going to be offered to you in a very real and pragmatic way. Absolutely they are. And now we have the Ace of Wands. To have the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Wands, this is like a surge of energy, resources, creativity available to you. It's like, what kind of horizons, what kind of mountains do you want to climb? What kind of peaks do you want to vision in for yourself? It's kind of almost like, this card is almost like the world's your oyster, a little bit. I'm going to draw from one of the tarot packs that really connects in with the kind of, because this is such a flavour of relationship around it. I mean, not just intimate relationships, it's all relationships. I mean, life is all about relationships. Even if we go to work, we're working alongside people. We're either contributing or, whatever we're doing, we connect to people in every way. So, and it's going to be very interesting to see how the big monthlies come through, actually, as we travel through the year. But the tarot pack I'm going to draw from now is one that kind of shows the dynamics and the energy of the people around you. We have the card of Journey. We have the card of Abundance. Oh, magical. King of Earth. Very interesting. Heaven and Earth. So let's talk through these cards. I have to say, guys, I think you are in for one very big spiritual experience this year. It feels as though your spirituality integrates into your lives in a way that is it's like it takes on a whole new meaning. I think you understand through the coming year what it means to integrate spirituality into real life, actually, and how that connects to your capacity to manifest, because that's, ultimately where we all sit, I think. The card of journey talks about the fact that we are shaped by our experiences. The more conscious we are of our experiences, the more conscious we are of the way that our past has shaped us, the more able we are to choose the experiences that we wish to have now. We don't have to dwell in the past or look through the lens of the past. We recognise that something has shaped us. We can decide what we're going to do about it. I mean, that's a real source of emotional and personal awareness that leads to empowerment. And I feel as though this is part of the journey for you guys this year. Opportunities being given to you that literally kind of wake you up in a way, or it doesn't feel like there's sudden jolts of awakening. It feels like a gradual process of becoming more and more illuminated, more and more aware, in a way that you can integrate that into your, integrating that in a way that means you become very consciously empowered in your capacity to create the shape of the world you wish to see for yourselves. The card of abundance, it's all about consciousness. It's about mutual giving and receiving. This card asks you to determine your desires, and it asks you to dwell in a space of appreciation, of gratitude. It's that attitude of gratitude, knowing that when we sit in that space, in terms of the law of attraction, in terms of manifestation, that is what we're creating. If we sit in a space of gratitude, then more and more comes to us. There's a mutuality. I kind of almost feel like you really take up the reins of manifestation, and you kind of learn to be very conscious about your personal role in that way. As I said, there's something about connecting to the spirituality, the evolution of your soul. Somehow you guys have, the energy is around you for quite significant stepping up into higher levels of consciousness, higher levels of awareness. The King of Earth, successful, devoted, steadfast, dedicated. This is the energy of someone who takes a pride in their accomplishments, honouring the process of being, celebrating their achievements. But back to this honour and integrity are food for the soul. Self-esteem, that connection, there is always a connection between our self-esteem and the health of our soul. If we are living in a manner that is honourable, decent, full of integrity, that's food for the soul. That equates to true success. The card of heaven and earth. Centre yourself, align yourself, recognise that separation is an illusion, that your soul is a soul existing within the human experience. What I think is really interesting here, and I'm finding myself being asked to speak about autonomy. You see, I think autonomy doesn't mean separateness from the world. It means relatedness with the world. We each have the capacity for conscious choice, for free will and conscious choice. That's what actually sets us as individuals in the world in a way that we can be actively co-creative. By the same token, we are, of course, interconnected with absolutely everything and everyone. Energetically, we are all resonating. So it's kind of understanding what I would call that paradox between knowing that we're sort of both separate in that we're independent, we can think for ourselves, we can make decisions and choices, and yet we're not separate at all. And it's really engaging with that paradoxical position and understanding how to use that kind of position to manifest not only for your own well-being, self-care, but actually for the well-being of everyone and everything. It's like there's an alignment that takes place, and it comes, I think, through a series of opportunities that come through the year. Some of them may feel challenging, others I think are just going to flow into being. I think it's going to be a mixture. That seems to be what's coming through. The key to navigating this is your own receptivity and your own responsiveness. So I'm going to draw now from the astrology cards. Fire element, desire. Get fully in touch, please, with your desires and allow yourself to believe in them. That is what I'm also really hearing clearly, clearly, clearly. And see, this is magical, earth element, stability. It really does feel like a year of manifestation for you guys, where you can actually make it real. That sort of feels like it's the deal. It's like opportunities being given to you. And each time you step into a space of greater consciousness, greater awareness, but you somehow manage to stay grounded at the same time. Certainly an invitation to stay grounded, to put the time and the effort in, to invest in yourselves, to invest in your desires. I would really be encouraging you to step into a space where you are able to constantly, ongoing reflection, daily reflection would be very key here. For those of you that meditate, keep a pen and paper handy next to you as well, because there's something about the flavour of this reading that suggests that, you could get some really significant downloads of illumination. I'm next going to draw from one of the other tarot packs. Interesting energy here. We have the card of truce. This yet again connects into emotional awareness. Sometimes it's like we can have a surface calm, but there are very deep feelings underneath. It's a bit like standing on the edge of the ocean and it looks like it's flat calm, but underneath there are big undercurrents. This is saying to you, again, be particularly aware of the depths that surround you. And then we have the wonderful card of death, of rebirth, of new opportunities. Again, letting go of, it's like we let go of things that no longer serve us. We move beyond. This is all about transformation. In its sort of fullest capacity, actually. Self-care, self-awareness being the key. I'm now going to actually draw from the Art of Manifestation cards. Magical opportunity. This card speaks of new opportunities, although they may not necessarily come in the form that you were expecting. Be alert. Look beyond the obvious. Be prepared for opportunities disguised as loss. If a new pathway opens for you, trust that it is leading you in the direction that you are meant to go. This so tunes in with the energy of the runes. Difficult emotions. It's just what we've been saying. I do love the way the cards sort of come out and layer after layer reinforce themselves and reinforce the message that's being brought through. This card asks you to listen to your emotions. Every emotion we have is necessary and important to us, even the challenging ones. Difficult feelings are letting you know that something is not okay. Learn to understand and love your emotions and discover how they serve you. Uncertainty. Living with uncertainty, I think, is humanly challenging. And I think it's just the way it is. It doesn't matter who we are or where we are in life, you know, uncertainty is difficult. In reality, I think there are only two things in our lives that are absolutely certain. One is uncertainty and the other one is, of course, death. You know, but yeah, uncertainty. And yet, if we can learn to navigate uncertainty, we really begin to sit in a position of true empowerment, because it's often our wobbles that energetically throw us off course. In terms of manifestation, the law of attraction, it's often when we wobble, we could be so close to something coming to us, and it's that wobble that suddenly energetically freezes something or knocks us off balance. So this card says, calm the noise within your mind. Get still and meditate. If you are still uncertain, give yourself 4 hours and meditate again. If you are still unclear, wait for 4 days, and if necessary, 4 weeks. The answer will come. Don't hurry things. Trust that the signs, the signals will come to you. Okay, your protection, control of your emotions. Again, don't allow yourselves to be so emotionally charged that you become reactive. Again, responsive is the key here. That's your position of empowerment. I love this card. Be your brilliant self. This is, again, it's exactly in attunement with this. It's about being everything that you are, doing absolutely everything that you do in the most magical and amazing way, because that's then what you attract to yourself. Be great today, be brilliant. This card asks you to get in touch with the extraordinariness of everyday living. Go about your daily life doing everything to the very best of your ability. Be extraordinary in an ordinary way. Your brilliance will radiate into the world, creating more change than you could possibly imagine. I'm quite blown away by this. The readings have been so powerful for 2020. So for any of you that are checking in, you know, if you are an Aquarius sun, but you have a Libra rising and you're checking in on those as well, you know, wherever you're at, they are very powerful readings, that's for sure. And what I really hear, guys, I think you are pretty conscious. That's what I'm really connecting in with. And it's almost as though there is opportunity after opportunity that's going to be opened, doorway after doorway. And I think it will raise some sort of wobbly emotions. Trust your emotions, learn to use them, learn to navigate with your emotions as a centre, sort of pivotal guidance system. Learn to listen to yourselves above and beyond anything. Just listening in to see, we're going to actually draw two of the animal spirit guide cards. This is really about connecting into the energy that, again, is being offered around you in protection and in guidance. Our first card, Electric Eel Spirit. Bring your ideas to life. This really is so tuned in. I think the camera is not quite catching that. I'm just going to move it around so I hope you can see them all. I really think you are able this year to somehow integrate spirituality with the reality of what it means to live a grounded and real life. And from that position, begin to actively bring your ideas to life. Very powerful. It's kind of like manifestation becomes real for you guys this year. Or certainly that's what the energy is suggesting and offering. Bear with me, I've dropped a card, cards have leapt out. Clear out the clutter. Frog spirit, clear out the clutter. Don't let things hold you back. If there is, it's like energetically, and I actually hear a message clearly here. Again, it comes down to emotions. It's not just about stuff. It's the stuff that we have within us. Your mind will lie to you sometimes. That's the ego mind. It's the way we're built. And of course, we are shaped by our past. And so we tend to look through life to some extent through the lens of our past experiences. And then we have emotional responses to things. When we kind of can see those aspects of ourselves clearly, we become really empowered. We clear out the internal clutter, and it frees us to then manifest. If we clear out the clutter, we can then listen to emotions for what they are. I would differentiate as well just here between what I would call emotions that are connected to the lens of the past, as opposed to here and now immediate emotions that are responding to our immediate present circumstances that we need to listen to and be responsive to. You know, there's a significant difference, because we get an emotional response to our fears of the past happening again, or something that happened to us before. That's an emotional response that actually can govern our actions inappropriately and hold us back, whereas actually experiencing emotions in a present way is incredibly empowering, because they let us know how a situation is. And interestingly enough, listening to emotions in that way and understanding that differentiation actually helps us to navigate uncertainty with so much ease. It really is very life-changing when we listen to ourselves. So Aquarius rising, moon in Aquarius. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for this reading. I'm actually being called to just draw 2 Moonology cards to wrap us up. And as I said, do please keep an eye out for my big kind of, coming up to Christmas sharing of stuff, because I will be giving away books, the Mindfulness Meets Emotional Awareness, and also a book called 7 Steps to Spiritual Empathy, which is all about learning to listen to ourselves and becoming present and understanding, again, emotions, so that we actually recognise how to actively use emotions to co-create the kind of world that we wish to live in. So, Moonology cards. Loving this. The energy is gaining momentum. A new start is coming. We actually had 2 cards that came out there. I thought we'd be drawing 2, but we actually had 3. As happens, you can't always predict these things. The energy is gaining momentum. A new start is coming. Step out of your comfort zone. Step into that uncertainty. This is a reading that calls you to step into those opportunities as they come your way. Aquarius, so much love to you guys. I will look forward to seeing you for the monthly readings. I'll be doing the December ones soon. And of course, just to let you know, I'm putting all of the 2020 readings into a playlist. I don't have many playlists on the channel, but it means that if at some point during the year you want to touch base with this reading again, you should be able to find it quite easily. So much love to you guys, and I look forward to seeing you for some of the big monthlies or even the weekly readings that I do, just for guidance and direction along the way. So much love.